This is Live Life Well TV host Robert Landau with a trivia program here on Live Life Well TV that we call True or False. So stay tuned. The fun, which is true, not false, is about to begin. So, true, false. Only 4% of Americans surveyed consider themselves less intelligent than average. You think that's true or false? Only 4% of Americans surveyed consider themselves less intelligent than average. The answer to that happens to be true. If you're looking at an average level of intelligence, you have to accept the fact that half the people are smarter than average and half the people are, less smart. Take a look at cold, hard, true numbers, and you'll find that only 4% cop to being less intelligent than the average person. Let's move on, shall we? True or false? Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are both located in North Asia. True or false? Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are both located in North Asia. What do you think? True or false? That happens to be false, and here's why. Bangladesh and Sri Lanka happen to be located in South Asia. True or false? India is a continent itself. Think carefully. India is a continent in and of itself. True or false? That is false because India is part of the continent of Asia. True or false? The capital of Russia is St. Petersburg. True or false? The capital of Russia is St. Petersburg. That is, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? It happens to be false because the capital of Russia is Moscow. True or false? A potato happens to be a vegetable. True or false? A potato is a vegetable. Well, you probably already know that the answer to that happens to be true. Why? Because it is. True or false? Rubber bands will last longer if you refrigerate them. True or false? Rubber bands will last longer if you refrigerate them. Strangely enough, that is true, and here's why. When a rubber band is placed in a fridge, it causes the polymers to relax, which keeps the band from breaking down as fast as it normally does. Bet you didn't know that, did ya? See if you know the answer to this true or false question. Killer whales are whales. True or false? Killer whales are whales. That is false. While the name killer whale implies that these large marine mammals, not animals, are whales, these creatures are actually called orcas and are the largest members of, get this, I did not know this, did you? The dolphin family. So yeah, they're basically really big with a capital B, dolphins and not whales. True or false? The Roman calendar is the current worldwide calendar that we use today. True or false? The Roman calendar is the current worldwide calendar that is in use today. What do you think about that? That happens to be false because we use the Gregorian calendar today. True or false? George Washington served in the French and Indian War. True or false? Think about your history now, people. George Washington served in the French and Indian War. That is true because George Washington's military experience began in the French and Indian War as a major in the militia of the British province back then of Virginia. True or false? Running is considered to be the first sport ever played. True or false? Running is considered to be the first sport ever played. True or false? False. Cave paintings depict wrestlers as dating back to 15,300 years ago. And these were found in modern day France, these paintings. So it is said that wrestling is considered to be the first sport ever played. Wasn't there? Can't tell you. True or false? Grapefruit happens to be the most bitter fruit. Ooh, it can be so bitter. True or false? Grapefruit happens to be the most bitter fruit. That is false. Oh, there is something even more bitter than grapefruit. It is known as bitter melon, also referred to as the bitter gourd, or Carela, Carela. That is known as the most bitter fruit. Wouldn't try it even if you insisted I do. True or false? Entomology is the science that studies human behavior. Entomology, entomology, is the science that studies human behavior. True or false? It's false. Entomology is the science that studies insects. Yeah. True or false? The song Memory is a song featured in the hit and iconic show Cats, written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. Memory is a song that is featured in the Broadway hit show Cats. True, true, true. How about this? True or false? There are 12 days in a fortnight. True or false? There are 12 days in a fortnight. That happens to be false. Why? Because, as you might know, there happen to be 14 days in a fortnight. So there. True or false? The primary ingredient in hummus happens to be chickpeas. True or false? The primary ingredient in hummus happens to be chickpeas. True. You want to know how I know? Because I love hummus, particularly garlic hummus. True or false? Plymouth Rock, the site where the Pilgrims landed, is in Virginia. True or false? Plymouth Rock, the site where the Pilgrims landed, is located in Virginia. You might know Virginia or Mary or Sally or Joe. That happens to be false because Plymouth Rock is located in where? Yeah, Massachusetts. Two more before we take our leave. Yes, I'm sorry to present this horribly depressing news, but there are only two more true or false questions. I don't want to know if anybody happens to be happy about that fact. So here's the second to last one before we do close. True or false? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times is a quote from A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. True or false? It was the best of times. It was the worst of times is a quote from A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. True. And here is the last True or false question? True or false? Lewis and Clark set out to explore the Western United States, and they were guided by none other than Pocahontas. True or false? Lewis and Clark set out to explore the Western United States, and they were guided by Pocahontas. That happens to be false, because they were guided by somebody by the name of Sacagawea, Sacagawea. Sacagawea was a Shoshone woman who, as interpreter, traveled thousands of wilderness miles with the Lewis and Clark expedition, which occurred between 1804 and 1806. She was from the Madan Hidatsa villages in the Dakotas, and that expedition went from there to the Pacific Northwest. So that does it. Don't fret. Don't be upset. Don't worry, because we'll be back next week with another enthrallingly entertaining, certainly educational and fun episode of True or False.